Well, that's right. From Friends of Medicare, the Alberta Union of Public Employees, to the opposition, some saying the Conservatives shot the messenger, that the government is silencing people. Now, as you know, on Friday, Sherman told CTV that the systemic problems are the fault of his own government, and he singled out the former Health Minister, Ron Leipert. He said that Leipert was rude and offensive to all frontline staff, like doctors and nurses. Now, reporters caught up with Minister Leipert today. He says he was shocked by Sherman's comments. Well, Tara, police have really ramped up their presence here on the 1100 block of 18th Avenue Northwest. The mobile forensic crime unit is here. Search and rescue is here, combing through the neighborhood, looking for clues. Now, this all began on Tuesday morning when police were called to the home behind me and discovered the body of 36-year-old Joel Zaltzos. Police are not releasing how he died, but we're learning today that it was his wife who came home and discovered his body. We're also learning today that his wife works as a nanny. She had left the house early that morning to only go next door to go to work. She was caring for a child, and it's believed that the homicide occurred when she was only one house over, and she had come home and discovered her husband's body.
While many of us dread the freezing temperatures and the snow, Paul and his dogs embrace it. In fact, for these guys, the colder it is, the better the run.
On the road to success, and for many, a whole lot of debt. Adam Ranson is aiming for med school and estimates he'll be $52,000 in the hole by graduation.
I'll spend my kind of first 5 or 6 years working, just trying to pay down that debt, and then afterwards, pay for a house and stuff. That's pretty tough.
According to a new report from the Vanier Institute, the average Canadian family is dealing with a debt load of around $100,000. It means for every $1,000 earned, families are owing $1,500.
There's certainly concern right now that the debt loads are too high, and if interest rates start going higher, as they predictably will do, that a lot of families will be in pretty precarious situation.
Experts blame this on the cost of living exceeding what Canadians are making in wages. The debt load is also blamed on the inability of Canadians to save. The Vanier Institute suggests Canadians saved $8,000 or 13% of their income 20 years ago, while last year we saved an average of $2,500 or a little more than 4%.
It's a major problem in the household.
This debt counselor says there are ways out of debt, not just by putting money away, but by spending less.
Keep your wallet in your pocket. We all want those nice things in life, the nice cars.
As for student debt, experts consider that to be more or less good debt because you're investing in yourself, which is good news for Ransom as long as he succeeds.
And by the end of it, you'd better be a doctor so that you can actually pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryansang joins us now. So, Ryan, let's talk about this idea of good debt. Sometimes it's okay to be tens of thousands of dollars in the hole.
Yeah, it's confusing. All debt is debt, and who wants debt, right? But when you take out a student loan, as you heard, you're investing in your education and setting yourself up for a good job. Now, another reason why it's not so bad to have student debt is because oftentimes you can claim most of the interest paid on your student loans when you file your taxes. At the same time, if you take out a student loan, experts say to make sure you succeed in school, pass all your exams, because partying more than studying could cost you.
Yeah, you want to make it worth your while. Okay,
Exactly.
Ryan, thanks.
Never thought that the potential to see him so quickly would be here.
He'll soon get to see his firstborn child. This father, who cannot be identified, expects he'll visit his baby on Thursday. The last time they saw each other, the first time they met, was when the father found his newborn son in a dumpster.
What are you going to do when you first see him?
I don't know.
On Tuesday, when he went home to check on his girlfriend who was ill, he had jumped into this dumpster after hearing an infant's cries. He discovered a boy, umbilical cord still attached, inside a garbage bag. The baby was rushed to hospital. A short time later, EMS also took his girlfriend away. The father would later learn the baby he rescued was his.
Really, the first thing that came to my mind was that the first picture that I will always see of my baby is covered in garbage.
He claims he had no idea she was pregnant. Police say she didn't either. Whatever the case, the father doesn't condone what's happened, but says he's not angry.
The baby may never end up in our family. You don't know that. But, she deserves that right.
Meanwhile, the mother is undergoing a psychological assessment as authorities decide whether they'll lay charges. The father is holding out hope they could still start a family.
My biggest priority is to make sure she gets the help she needs and the baby gets the things it needs.
Ryansang, CTV News, Calgary. They're anxious to get out and into the snow. Meet the Snowfire Gang. 4 generations of Samoyeds raised by Paul Rintoul and his wife, Debbie.
Yes, we hear you. Originally, it was just one. I'm just going to have a pet. And then one grew into 2. Next thing you know, I'm breeding.
For more than 10 years, Paul and Debbie have been dog sledding. That's right. They go about 3 to 5 times a week every winter. When Paul first came to Debbie with the idea, she was in love with it from the beginning.
Said, we're getting a dog and this is what we're going to do with it. I'm going, yeah, that sounds like a good time.
And while the dogs strap in, it's a bit of a commotion. But as soon as Paul does this,
Hop, 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 hop! As soon as we let go and they're gone, they don't make a noise.
Paul races once in a while, but he mostly dog sleds for fun. He doesn't go very far to practice his hobby. Paul rides around in parks right here in Calgary, normally at night.
While many of us dread the freezing temperatures and the snow, Paul and his dogs embrace it. In fact, for these guys, the colder it is, the better the run.
I mean, the dogs run best if it's minus 20 or lower.
Or they might get overheated. And when the mercury plunges, the couple says there's nothing like a ride in the cold with their best friends.
Going on the ride in the sled, it's just absolutely exhilarating. It's just so much fun.
It's very peaceful, it's quiet, it's relaxing. I enjoy the company of the dogs. It's just getting outside and just enjoying the cold weather.
And if only all of us could think this way, perhaps winter would be a joyous time of year, even after the holiday season.
Hey, let's go! Hop, 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 hop.
Ryansang, CTV News, Calgary.